I felt Bella's hand running through my hair, and I immediately fell off the couch. I could hear my caring wife struggling between giggles to ask me if I was okay. She looked down at me. Peachy, I'm all— fuck! I got up, just to fall again, realizing Bella's tail was in its usual position around my leg. Honey, can you please untail me? I graciously requested while getting up for hopefully the last time. Instead, she jumped onto my back. A little longer, please. I was extremely tempted to lay back down and finish whatever we were watching. I really wanted to. However, if what Simon said was the truth, I couldn't really let this wait. The neighborhood was the kind you'd expect people to not lock their doors, or maybe be a part of a cult. It seemed way too plain. When we got to the front door, Simon was hesitant to open it. I don't know what was going on in there, but it had him shaking. Suddenly the door was flung open and a large, angry man reached for Simon. I took the initiative and got between them, smacking his arm away. The man looked down at me and spoke with a heavy accent. Simon, who is this? Where is your brother? The bear the man said as he stared at me. Oh, this is an investigator. He's helping me look for him. Detective Anderson, this is our landlord. The landlord gave me an apologetic look and stuck his hand out. I'm sorry for my poor manners. Stephen seems to have put locks on the basement door without permission. I do not mind tenants doing this, but I need to know to ensure maintenance can be done properly. Shaking his hand, I reassured him that I understood and I'll give Stephen the message. I expected it to be at least a little messy inside. However, the place was immaculate. I couldn't find anything that gave me any idea of what Stephen was up to or into. And trust me, I checked. Vents, outlets, couch cushions. If you could hide something in it, I checked it. Hell, the place didn't even look like the kind of place you'd expect two boys to be living. The only thing left was the basement. I sent a text to Sam and began to fake lockpick. I know I am extremely rusty at it because of this little trick that we do. A couple minutes passed and I heard the distinct sound of stairs creaking before the click of the lock. I slowly opened the door and told Simon to wait for me. Yep. Just as I expected, a normal basement. Well, as normal as a basement could be. This place is empty, Sam says as he stepped out of the shadow. More like it's scrubbed clean. From what Simon told me, his brother doesn't clean a lot. He apparently isn't an organized person at all. However, nothing I've seen here so far proves that. Plus, there's nothing that gives any hint to his personality. No posters, no t-shirts, no collector items. Hell, his browser history was pretty much nothing. That's what I heard what sounded like whimpering coming from what I could only assume was the laundry room. Approaching the tarp that was acting as a makeshift door, I poked my head in when a deafening sound hit me. Fuck! I yelled as I fell backward, holding my ears. That's when the beast revealed itself. Fur that was so black it would almost absorb the light, a set of cold, piercing blue eyes on all three of its heads. It lunged at me and began licking me. The smell of mint, brimstone, cherry 7-Up, and puppy breath all assaulted my nose. Yep, you're the real deal. Yes, you are, I said affectionately to the little Cerberus as I got up. There was a sudden tap on my shoulder, and spinning around, Simon was staring at me in shock. Well, I believe you, I yelled, holding up the puppy. When the ringing in my ears finally faded, I checked the room, hiding the tri-headed ball of adorable, What the hell? I said, looking at what could be a serial killer's den. Books open. There was a map with different locations marked. Hydra, stables, boar, deer, Cerberus. They were all written next to spots, along with others that were marked out. There were several notebooks with handwriting that was either illegible or just seemed to ramble on. However, there were some notes in a language I had never seen before all over the place. "Sam, look at this." I heard Simon scream as the tall figure came out of the shadows next to him. I don't recognize this language, but some of the symbols seem familiar. A chill crept down my spine at the response. It certainly was not comforting Simon either. Despite discovering that, well, basically the paranormal was real, he was taking it quite well. More often than not, people faint or have a moment of psychosis. He, however, was handling it like a champ. "We need to get out of here. Simon, pack a bag. It's not safe for you here anymore." By the time Bella already had a fire going when we arrived. I snatched the small jar off the coffee table and beamed it into the fireplace. The flames took the form of a human head that spoke with a deep voice. "You have reached Hades." I sat on the couch with the Cerberus on my lap before speaking. "Well, I found your dog. However, I haven't located the person that had him. I'll meet you at..." I was cut off by a familiar, infuriating message. "I cannot respond at this moment. Speak your name and I will contact you." After my divine voicemail, Sam and I took Simon to the Puff of Wonders to see if Tim had any answers on what was going on. Honestly, I felt bad for Simon. He froze on the spot when we stepped through the door. "Hey, it's okay. None of the beings in here will mess with us," I reassured. Thankfully, that got him to move. Sitting down, Tim almost sprinted up to us. Hey, who the hell is this? Why does he reek of weird magic?" he practically demanded as he reached us. "This is Simon. I'm helping him find his brother." "What do you mean, weird magic?" I took another look at Simon. It seemed that over the past couple of hours, he had gotten thinner. He was nearly skin and bone. From what I remembered from pictures of him and his brother, they both had, at the very least, more meat on them than the guy sitting next to me. "It seems like whatever's going on is draining your strength," Tim said, looking Simon over. He passed him a cup of familiar-smelling tea. "This should help, but you're gonna need a lot of food when you finish it." Simon looked at me as he picked up the cup of hot liquid, almost as if asking me if it was safe. "Don't worry, if anything happens, I'll shoot Tim," I said, patting his back. I couldn't help but feel like I was with one of my younger brothers. "Don't worry, if anything happens, I'll shoot Tim," I said as I patted his back. "Oh yeah, Tim. I need to get in contact with Hades. Can't have the neighbors seeing a Cerberus puppy around my place." Tim gave a look that told me he wanted to say something. However, a knock sounded from the back door of the pub and he disappeared. Before a voice you could hear the weed on made itself known. What's up, little dude? Thanks again for those coins you tipped me with. Now, I was able to open my legitimate business. Feel free to stop by any time. Tim returned with several bags of Mexican food. Man, I love California, he said as he passed one of the bags to Simon, who was staring at an empty cup. Did you just drink the whole thing? I nearly shouted as Sam and Tim started laughing. Start eating now. Simon wasted no time and tore into the bag of food as the words left my mouth. He was like a starving animal, and I watched closely as he started gaining mass as if he was an old cartoon being pumped full of air. After he was done, I took a picture and showed him. What? How? I haven't felt or looked like this in almost a year now, he said excitedly, looking at his Ringo and body mass. The moment was short-lived as he started coughing. It got more intense by the second. Eventually, he began hacking up this black viscous liquid, and eventually a small obsidian-colored octopus-looking thing flew out of his mouth. Tim immediately trapped the thing in a mason jar. What the hell is this thing? I've never seen anything like it. I'll ask around and see what I can find. As we were about to leave, my phone rang. The name on the screen immediately souring my mood. I need your help. There's a guy here destroying the place. He turned my golems into paste. No, don't open that. That's the hide. Devin yelled into my ear. Rushing through the door, Sam pushed me out of the way and took a flying slab of concrete to the chest. The place looked like a bomb went off. There was debris and blood of all colors painting the ground, and some of it was up the walls, some of it was high enough. Oh shit, what happened? I heard a faint voice begging for help. I kept looking, and eventually I found a pixie whose leg was pinned under a piece of the arena. Don't worry, I gotcha, I said, lifting the debris off of her.